You know that person you can't stop thinking about? The one you check their Instagram at 2 a.m. hoping they posted something, anything that might give you a sign? The one where you replay every conversation, trying to figure out what went wrong? The one where you've watched probably 15, maybe 20 videos just like this one, about letting go, about detaching, about raising your vibration. And you understood every single one of them intellectually. And yet here you are, still thinking about them? Yeah, I know. And here's what nobody in this space is going to tell you. The reason you can't let go has almost nothing to do with that person. It has almost nothing to do with love. And it has everything to do with your nervous system. I'm going to break something down for you today that I think is going to change the way you understand not just relationships, but the way you understand yourself. Because what I've discovered, and what neuroscience is now confirming, is that there's a very specific reason why the more you chase someone, the more they pull away. And there's a very specific reason why the moment you genuinely, truly give up, everything shifts. And it's not magic, it's not woo, it's biology. And once you understand the biology, the letting go part becomes almost automatic. So let's talk about it. Here's what I want you to consider. Right now, as you're thinking about that person, I want you to notice something. Notice what's happening in your body, not your mind. Your body. Is your chest tight? Is your stomach knotted? Are your shoulders up near your ears? Is there a low-level hum of anxiety just sitting in your solar plexus? That's not love. That's not connection. That's your sympathetic nervous system in a state of activation. That is your body in survival mode, fight, flight, or freeze. And here's what's fascinating about this. Your body cannot tell the difference between a lion chasing you across the savannah and the person you love not texting you back. To your nervous system, both of those situations register as a threat to your survival. Both of them flood your body with cortisol and adrenaline. Both of them shut down the prefrontal cortex, which is where your creativity, your presence, your charisma, your magnetic energy lives. So when you are chasing someone, when you are in that desperate energy of, I need them, I want them, if I could just get them to see me, to love me, to come back, what you are broadcasting, and I mean this literally, energetically broadcasting, is the frequency of a person in danger, a person who is not safe, a person who is in survival. And here's the thing, people feel this. They may not be able to articulate it. They may not consciously know what's happening. But on a biological level, a nervous system level, when they interact with you or even when they think about you, they feel the weight of your desperation. And it doesn't feel like love to them. It feels like pressure. It feels like obligation. It feels like something they need to escape from. This is what I call the pursuit paradox. The harder you chase, the more your nervous system locks into survival. The more your nervous system locks into survival, the more desperate your energy becomes. The more desperate your energy becomes, the faster they run. And the faster they run, the harder you chase. It's a loop. And no amount of visualization or affirmation is going to break that loop, because the loop isn't in your mind, it's in your body. And by the way, I built an entire 21-day protocol around breaking this exact loop. It's called the Pursuit Paradox. The link is in the description. I'm going to tell you more about it toward the end of this video. But for now, just know it exists, because what I'm about to walk you through is day one. Now, let me tell you why giving up works. And I want to be very precise about what I mean by giving up, because this is where most people in this space get it dangerously wrong. Giving up does not mean you stop caring. Giving up does not mean you become cold or numb or indifferent. That's not giving up. That's dissociation. That's your nervous system going from fight or flight into freeze. And freeze is not freedom. Freeze is just another kind of prison. I've seen this happen. I've seen people watch video after video about detachment and letting go, and they become so good at pretending they don't care that they actually stop feeling anything at all. And then they sit there wondering why they feel empty, why nothing excites them anymore, why they got exactly what they thought they wanted, which was to stop hurting. But now they feel nothing? That's not the goal. What I'm talking about is something much more specific and much more powerful. What I'm talking about is a nervous system reset, a shift from your sympathetic state, survival mode, chasing mode, desperate mode, into your parasympathetic state. Rest, safety, personal power. And here's what happens when you make that shift. When your nervous system moves into the parasympathetic state, several things change simultaneously. First, your prefrontal cortex comes back online. That's the part of your brain responsible for creative thinking, for presence, for emotional regulation. You start to think clearly again. The obsessive thoughts quiet down, not because you force them to, but because the part of your brain that was generating them has calmed down. Second, your energy changes. And I know that sounds vague, so let me be specific. When you are in a parasympathetic state, your body language changes. Your facial muscles relax, your voice drops to a lower register, your movements become slower, more deliberate, you take up more space, you make more eye contact. These are not things you do consciously. These are things that happen automatically when your nervous system feels safe. And every single one of these things is what we would describe as attractive, magnetic, charismatic. Third, and this is the one nobody talks about, your perception of that person changes. When you are in a survival mode, your brain distorts reality. It puts the other person on a pedestal. It makes them seem like the only source of love, of safety, of validation in the entire world. But when your nervous system calms down, you start to see them clearly, maybe for the first time. You start to see them as a human being with their own fears and their own limitations, not as some idealized version that your anxious brain constructed. And it's from this place, this calm, clear, grounded place, that you can actually make a real decision. Do I want this person in my life because I genuinely enjoy who they are? Or do I want this person in my life because my nervous system has confused attachment with love? That's a very different question. And you can only ask it when you've calmed down enough to hear the answer. Now, let me give you the framework. Because understanding this intellectually is one thing. I know you've understood plenty of things intellectually. You've probably understood 15 different explanations of letting go. The question is, Sue, how do you actually do it? And this is where I think most teachers in this space fail you. They say let go, they say detach, they say raise your vibration, but they don't give you the mechanics, they don't give you the how. So here's the how. Step 1. Identify where the chase lives in your body. Right now, think about that person. I mean, really think about them. Picture their face. Remember the last conversation. Remember the last time they made you feel small or uncertain or not enough. Now notice, where do you feel it? Is it in your chest, your throat, your stomach? Put your hand there. That is the physical location of your attachment. That is where your nervous system is storing the unresolved charge. And until you address what's happening there in your body, no amount of mental reframing is going to work. You'll understand the concept, you'll agree with the concept, and you'll go right back to checking their Instagram at 2 a.m. because your body hasn't gotten the message yet. Step 2. Discharge the survival energy. Your body is holding onto this person because it believes on a nervous system level that losing them is a threat to your survival. So we need to show your body that you are safe without them. And here's the simplest way I know how to do this. Take a slow breath in through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Exhale through your mouth for 8 counts. Do this 6 times. What you're doing is activating your vagus nerve, which is the primary nerve that switches your nervous system from sympathetic to parasympathetic, from survival to safety, from chasing to grounded. Now, while you're doing this, I want you to notice something. After 3 or 4 of those breaths, that tightness in your chest, in your stomach, wherever you identified it, it will start to soften, not disappear, soften. And in that softening, there's space. And in that space, something remarkable happens. You start to feel like yourself again. Not the version of yourself that's been chasing someone, not the version of yourself that's been up at 2 a.m. You, the real you, the one that existed before this person took up so much space in your mind. Step 3, rewrite the meaning. Now, this is the part that most people skip, and it's the part that makes the difference between temporary relief and permanent transformation. When you were in survival mode, your brain created a story. And the story went something like this. If I lose this person, I will not be okay. If they don't love me, it means I am not lovable. If this doesn't work out, I'll never find someone like them again. These are not facts. These are meanings that your anxious brain assigned to the situation. And they felt true because when your nervous system is in survival mode, everything your brain tells you feels urgent and absolute. But now that you've calmed your nervous system down even a little, you have access to a different part of your brain, the part that can evaluate those stories and ask, is this actually true? Is it true that you will not be okay without this one person? Look at your life. You existed before them. You had moments of joy before them. You will have moments of joy after them. Is it true that if they don't love you, you are not lovable? That's an extraordinary claim. That one human being's opinion of you determines your worth. Does that actually hold up under any kind of scrutiny? Is it true that you'll never find someone like them? Out of 8 billion people on this planet, you've decided that this one person is the only possible source of love and connection for you. Does that sound like truth, or does that sound like scarcity? These aren't rhetorical questions. I want you to actually sit with them, because when you let those old meanings dissolve, when you stop defending them, something opens up. A space that was previously occupied by the desperate need for this one person suddenly becomes available. And what fills that space is not emptiness, it's not numbness, it's possibility. Here's what I've observed in my own life and in working with thousands of people. The moment, and I mean the genuine moment, not the performance of it, not the pretending, but the genuine moment when you release the grip on that one person, 3 things happen in rapid succession. First, you feel an immediate sense of relief, physical relief. Your body has been clenching around this attachment, sometimes for months, sometimes for years. When you let go, genuinely let go, your body relaxes in a way that you may have forgotten was possible. Second, your perception of reality expands. When you're fixated on one person, your world shrinks to the size of their attention. Everything revolves around whether they texted, whether they looked at your story, whether they're thinking about you. When you release that fixation, suddenly you notice things. You notice the friend who's been trying to reach you. You notice the opportunity at work. You notice the sunset. Your world gets bigger because your attention is no longer trapped in a single point of obsession. Third, and this is the part that feels almost supernatural but is entirely biological, the other person feels the shift. They feel it because the energetic pressure you are putting on them, the weight of your need, suddenly lifts. And in that space, for the first time, they get to actually miss you. They get to wonder where you went. They get to notice the absence of your attention. And absence, genuine absence, not strategic absence, not playing games, but genuine absence born from you actually choosing yourself. That absence is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. Now, here's the important thing, and this is something I don't hear anyone else say. By the time this happens, by the time they start reaching out, by the time they start feeling that pull back toward you, you might not want them anymore. And that's okay. In fact, that might be the most beautiful outcome of all, because it means you didn't just change your strategy, you changed your state of being. You went from being someone who is chasing love to being someone who is love. And from that state, you don't need anyone to complete you, but you might choose someone to walk with you. And that's a very different kind of relationship. So here's what I want you to take from this. The backwards law of attraction works not because of some mystical force that rewards you for not caring. It works because when you stop chasing, your nervous system calms down. When your nervous system calms down, you become the version of yourself that is naturally magnetic. Not because you're performing magnetism, not because you watched a video about being high value, but because you are regulated, you are present, you are whole, and wholeness is the most attractive frequency on the planet. Now, I mentioned the pursuit paradox earlier. Let me tell you why I think you need it. You felt something during this video, maybe during the breathing exercise, maybe when I described the loop. Something landed. But here's what I know about you, because I've been you. In 48 hours, maybe 72, your nervous system is going to pull you right back into the old pattern. They'll post a story, a song will come on, you'll wake up at 2 a.m. and your body will be right back in survival before your mind even catches up. That's not a failure of willpower. That's a baseline that took months to build, and one video can't rewire a baseline. The pursuit paradox is 21 days. One exercise per day, less than 15 minutes. Day 1 through 7, you discharge the survival energy. Day 8 through 14, you rewire the stories your brain built. Day 15 through 21, your nervous system settles into a new baseline, the one where you stop chasing and start attracting. Not just people, everything. The link is in the description. The person you can't stop thinking about, they're not the prize. The version of you that exists on the other side of this attachment, calm, clear, grounded, free, that's the prize. And the paradox is that the moment you truly become that person, you'll either attract them back or you'll attract someone who makes you wonder why you were ever so fixated in the first place. Either way, you win. So stop chasing, not as a strategy, not as a manipulation tactic. Stop chasing because you deserve to feel safe in your own body. Stop chasing because your nervous system deserves to rest. Stop chasing because the love you're looking for was never in them. It was in the version of you that you abandoned the moment you started believing you weren't enough without them. Come home to yourself and watch what happens next.